Honda wanted to capture everything great about summer in one word: Summerbration. As in the Honda Summerbration sales event. Now throw in some meat and fire, and you have a Barbabration. Hurry in and get a 2017 HRV for 0.9% APR from KBB.com's best value brand at your Honda dealer.
Visit your Metro Milwaukee Honda dealer today during the Honda Summerbration sales event.
Based on 2017 Brand Image Awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit KBB.com for information. APR financing offers available for well-qualified buyers. See dealer for financing details.
Blog Talk Radio.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in this morning to my interview with Nora of the Mob Wives Chicago. Unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties yesterday, and we're unable to have the interview. But I see we have Nora on the line right away, so let's get right to our interview, shall we? Good morning, Nora.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
Hi,
yes.
I finally got Nora on the phone. I want to say thank you so much for taking your time this morning, and I'm sorry about what happened yesterday. I'm so glad everything is up and running this morning. I'm very excited. I have tons of questions for you. I actually have a set of questions of myself, and then I have some viewer questions actually for you. So I kind of want to start at the beginning and kind of work our way forward if we could, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
First thing, I kind of want to start out with maybe if you could explain to us the initial approach with which VH1 took in order to solidify you participating in the show.
The reason why they chose me?
Correct.
Is that all right? The reason why is because back in the 90s, Jen and Renee Graziano's father was incarcerated where my dad was, and that's how we actually knew each other. So when she decided to come to Chicago, she approached me, and in a heartbeat, I took the opportunity. So basically, that's how she came to me.
I gotcha. Did you have any hesitation, do you think? I mean, were you kind of apprehensive at first, maybe thinking this might not be a good fit for me?
Absolutely not. No, it was actually an opportunity, of a lifetime, because the first thing that came to my mind is it's going to be the first opportunity in my life to, have a chance to find out about my dad, also to, my whole life has been living through what people said, which was hearsay, and now I was going to be able to tell the world my story, and my story is the truth, so that's the reason why I didn't hesitate.
Wonderful. I gotcha. Now, if I understand this right, now both you and Renee were actually friends prior to the show, is that correct?
Renee's family, the Fekeratas, and my family grew up from each other in Riverside, like 2 blocks down, so I knew Renee through their family.
Okay.
Since I was a little girl,
I gotcha. Now, at this point in time, I mean, in your own mind, can you maybe detail for us maybe some of the reasons you think that your relationship took a decline? Now, I know what we've seen on television, obviously, and sometimes, there's a difference between TV and real life, of course. I'm just wondering, do you have any idea why you think things kind of shook out the way they did?
I sort of have an idea, which is, it's a personal idea, but the reason maybe behind is she was going through a custody battle, which you didn't see on television, that I actually helped her through from the very beginning because I'm a paralegal. And she was under a lot of stress, and just reliving my dad's death. I was under a lot of stress. Also, which you don't see on the show, I was heavily involved in school, taking 3 to 4 classes. While I was filming, I started I went back to school after my dad passed for my therapy. Most people go to, maybe to see a counselor. I went back to school. I started in criminal. Then I got my associates in paralegal. I continued on for my bachelor's in business, and then I continued on, and I graduated with my master's. So I guess her and I were both under a great amount of stress, and sometimes when you are, do I regret some of the things I said to her? Yes, but then again, when somebody's pointing their finger in your face and, then she didn't show up for my father's memorial till very late, and then, of course, she left a message on my machine. So, it all escalated, and push comes to shove when somebody attacks you from behind, I won't hit you back, but I will hit you back with the truth, and when you're pushed in a corner, sometimes, you know, that's when things come out of your mouth. And do I regret it? Yes. But, you know, there's a lot of reasons why I guess we were both under stress.
Sure, certainly, definitely. Can I possibly ask you at this point in time, are you in a better place? Are you working towards getting in a better place? Do you see that happening in the future?
Well, right now, I graduated. That was accomplished. And, you know, this is a whole new world for me now. The show, you know, we've finished filming, and I'm in, like I said, I'm in Florida right now. And I'm going on to California. I didn't get invited to go to the Emmys, which I'm really excited about. And, yeah, I'm going to the Emmys with a friend of mine. My cousin lives in California as well. Yeah, we're September 23rd. So, yeah, I'm just putting the past behind and moving forward.
Gotcha. Okay, understandable. Now, as far as in terms of the other castmates on the show, now, had you had friendships prior to the show taping? Did you actually formulate those before the show started with any of them?
Actually, I knew Renee. Pia, I knew, and I'm the one why she is on the show. I mean, nobody knew of Pia at all, and we needed another cast member. So I reached out to her. Christina, I never met in my life, or Leah. I did meet Leah once, and, of course, she talks about it because I didn't want to dance with her, which was at a festival, like, prior to me for a minute. But other than that, no, I didn't know Christina and Leah at all.
I gotcha. Okay. Now, do you think that this show has helped to solidify relationships with these girls? I mean, outside of the obvious, meaning the girls that you just really haven't had a relationship with.
Sure. When I got to know Leah, Leah's a great person. And we, you know, I went to, if you see one of the bonus clips, went with her to Why Me, because my mother and father both went through cancer. So, you know, my heart goes out to her for that because, you know, I know how it feels. Christina is a wonderful person that I got to know. She's the only one, you know, she stuck.
Okay, apparently it would appear as though we have lost Nora momentarily. Hopefully we'll get a chance to get her back here shortly, unfortunately. I just want to do a little backdrop information just in case any of the audience members, or listeners I should say, are not privy to who Nora is. This last year we have Nora back, so excuse me 1 second.
There's a hurricane maybe going on here.
Oh, no, I was going to say, all of a sudden I'm thinking she got lost somewhere.
No.
Okay, so you were talking about Christina.
Hopefully it doesn't. I mean, I was here in 2005.
Okay.
They are actually evacuating lots of part of Florida right now.
Oh, my God. Well, I hope you're going to be safe. Yeah. Goodness gracious. My God. I kind of wanted to get into, because obviously for any of the audience members that don't know this, the show's creator being Jen Graziano, if I could ask you maybe to share some of your impressions of her, did you have a whole lot of interaction with her?
Yeah, well, Jen's a wonderful person. She's very intelligent. You know, she's come a long way. She's created, you know, Mob Wives Chicago's on their third season. I mean, New York's on their third season. Hopefully we'll be getting a second season. I mean, look at Big Ann. So, you know, I guess everything that she's accomplished for herself.
Okay, exactly. I get you. Have you had an opportunity to meet your sister show's castmates, meaning the New York girls? Have you been able to do that?
I mean, like I said, I've known Renee through you know, back in the 90s. But, no, I have not been able to. I met Karen very briefly when she was in for her book signing. I know Drita was in town, but I didn't actually go to where she was. I think Renee and all the other cast members went.
I gotcha. Okay, got it. Now, there's a question that I wanted to ask you, and this is something that had been referenced, and I'm sure you've probably heard this statement made before, and I'm not sure which of your castmates had done that, and I kind of was hoping that you might address this if I could. There have been some allegations by some of your castmates, apparently, that you have paranoid fantasies about the government spying on you. And I guess I, for myself, I'm very curious as to what your input is on that, or maybe share with us what you think.
That's what I just told you. Did I ask? That was my answer.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And obviously I'm not privy to this information.
Yeah. obviously, if anybody watched the finale, that there was no paranoid in my conspiracy.
Yes, of course, obviously. That kind of, I think, was the paramount to everything. It kind of hit home right there, obviously, because it's in black and white, and it's right in front of you right there. Definitely very
and none of those cast members, I mean, Renee's had her uncle, Pia's father was a rat, and, so basically what kills me about sometimes people, they say things, unless you've walked in my shoes, then, I don't really care what other people say, but it depends on, that's just their way of thinking some things. Sure, a lot of people don't understand the government until you've been through it. So, I've been going through this since I was a little kid with the government and media. So until you walk in my shoes, that's all I can say.
Definitely. I would wholeheartedly agree. Definitely. Now, I kind of wanted you to maybe take a little flashback through this last season for us. Maybe you could share with our listeners, like, some of the most favorite memories you have or the least favorite memories that you have just in your season here. Can you just share a little something with us?
The most favorable memory would be making my wine. And if you watch the bonus clip on the finale, when my best friend Julie, which is who I'm in Florida with, that my dad loved, she was my best friend for 7 years that I lived here. We created the wine, and now I own the name. I trademarked it, and that's another bonus clip with the attorney. So there's a lot of the bonus clips that people should go back and watch because there's a lot. If you don't watch the bonus clips, those just sort of fill in some of the episodes. And the only way you can get those is, on the Internet. So that's actually the best moment. And my birthday party as well.
Ah, yes. I loved your birthday party, too. That was cool.
Party.
I'm actually thinking I want that. I definitely want to do that for my birthday. It looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I used to go there all the time with my cousin, and they're like, well, what do you want to do? I said, I want to sit around a table and gossip and do whatever, like, you normally do. Right. So that was the birthday, sort of the party that I missed out on when I was a kid.
Oh, I gotcha. And now here you are as a grown woman getting to do that. And you look so beautiful doing it, too. I have to do that. I have to, folks, as a side note, just to say to this and to you, Nora, you're just beautiful. I've seen pictures. I've seen all different kinds of pictures and doing my research. You're lovely, and you seem to be just absolutely radiant. Oh, you're very welcome. Girls need to hear that sometimes. Girls need to stick together there. Now, as far as your least favorite moment, it goes without saying I could say, obviously, the finality. Is there, outside of that, maybe, just one moment where you kind of went back at the season and thought, yeah, I wasn't real happy with this either, outside of your dad?
The one I wasn't happy with was that horrific fight, and I should have never came back. I left for a reason. I had a gut feeling, and I should have stayed left. I was already there for 2 hours. Whatever, I don't transpire what Pia thought she was doing because, here's a friend that you attack. Pia was there for at least 2 hours, an hour and a half, until Renee came.
Right.
And like I said, everybody was under pressure, but you don't attack, people. If you have a problem, you should do some things one-on-one. So, yes, that was probably the most, horrific moment of my life. You get attacked from behind, like I said. But then again, when you attack somebody, then the code of silence is broken, and I wasn't going to hit somebody back that was my friend, but I will get you back. The bruises will go away, but, you just don't do that to people that are supposed to be your friends. Especially adults like we are, we should sit down and talk about it. So to me, to watch it was very, very difficult.
I imagine so, definitely. And I can also imagine, and of course I'm not in your position, I've watched the fights, period, over the entire course of the entire season. Some of the words that are brought out are very harsh. They're not nice words. They've been harsh, they've been cruel, and I would think all the way across the board there's just not been good things said. That must be difficult to have to rewatch at another point in time.
Right, correct, So that was the most difficult thing. Yes, do I regret saying in public those words? Sometimes, yes, I did. But like I said, when you're pushed in a corner and you are attacked, it's like, when a friend attacks you, it's like that. It's almost like an estranged because you're not waiting to be attacked by a friend. So you rebuttal because then it turns into like a stranger attacking you because of the fact that here's somebody that was supposed to be your friend for a long period of time, And when they attack you from behind, it's very difficult. You react in any way possible to get out.
Of course, definitely.
So it's almost like a stranger attacking you because it's unexpected.
Oh, certainly. Oh, certainly. That's just, I can imagine the horror in that. And I'm not even involved in this situation, goodness gracious. I did want to mention this, obviously, apparently, and I did not know this actually until a few days ago, that you had lived in Florida, obviously, prior to coming back to Chicago. I was curious to ask you, was it difficult for you to retransition back to Chicago? I mean, would you have been happier, do you think, staying in Florida? I mean, how did that go for you?
I came down to Florida. You know, my dad was incarcerated 10 years, and then he got out, and then he came back to Florida where he lived most of his life. And I came down here. He had a quadruple bypass, so you know, I have no I have no children. I was not married. So I picked up and I moved to Florida, and I never left him. We became best friends until he left in 2005, when he became a fugitive, whatever they believe. He was never, indicted. And I went back to Chicago in 2008. And, it was very difficult because not only did I lose my father, I lost my best friend. I was picked up and I was rooted because of the government had taken everything here. So, like people say, you're paranoid. Nobody knows the real truth. But then again, I do have a book. And now that the finale is over, I'm working on my book down here in Florida. So, okay. I mean, you'll get a lot of that information that comes out in my book.
Gotcha. I was just going to ask you that. Do you think that staying in Chicago, have you made a choice yet? Being in Florida, being in Chicago, where would we?
I'm definitely staying in Chicago because, I'm getting my wine. Like I said, I own it. I'm looking for a distributor. On September 5th, I'm doing a blind wine tasting. I want to get that off the ground. Like I said, I'm going to California for pretty much the whole month of September. By my cousin, I'm going to the Emmys. I'm going to iHeart Music Festival in Las Vegas. So
gotcha.
Where am I going to go? It all depends on second season. We're sitting waiting. Hopefully that we're going to have that. Like I said, I owe $89,000 for school. So I'm not sure where I go now. I have my master's, I have my wine, I have my book. So wherever the world takes me is where I'm going to end up.
Gotcha. And of course, certainly in case you don't know this, I mean, the fan base, I think, for you is very overwhelming, and I hear very, very flattering things about you, very supportive things, and there's a lot of people stepping up to the plate that really would like to see this show come back unilaterally. And it isn't just Nora per se, it's the entire cast, it's the show. There's a fan base out there that really loves and appreciates you, and I think you should know that in case you don't.
Oh, thank you. And I mean,
you're very welcome.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I think second season would be unbelievable because, mine would be my wine, my book, my story,
right.
Maybe, going out now as a single because now Jen gave me that opportunity and now I have a whole new world in front of me. So thanks to Jen, I now, was able to, go through the whole last 4 years that I, looked for my dad and got closure and, now it's a whole new world, like I said.
Definitely. It certainly is. Now, I'm going to go against the journalist grain. I'm going to ask that question we normally shouldn't, which is the pretty Nora dating anyone?
I have, dated a few people, but right now I haven't found somebody that I would want to really call my significant other. But like I said, this is a whole new world for me, so, who knows what's in store.
Of course, definitely. No, I understand. I definitely understand there. Now, anyone who has viewed the show is obviously aware of who your father was, as well as the very tight, solidified relationship that you had with him. Can I ask you maybe to reflect on and maybe share some of your fondest memories that you have with us as it relates to him? Kind of tell us about him. What do you remember most? What's your fondest memory?
Probably when I was like 16 years old, even though he lived in Florida, I used to come down here all the time for spring break with my friends for the, holidays. And I remember when I was graduating and he's like, here, pick out a car. And the day that I graduated, he drove all the way from Florida, didn't smoke in my car because I've never smoked and I hate smoke, and he was a heavy smoker. And when I, got out of graduation, he was standing in front with my car waiting for me with a dozen roses.
Oh. How wonderful is that? Oh, that's very, very sweet.
Yeah, and then when I was here in Florida, we became best friends. I was with him every day for, 6 years. So.
Right, definitely. Can I ask, what did you admire most about him, do you think?
My father never lied. He always told the truth, and that's the reason why I stand where I am. He always told us that don't ever think you're better than anybody, because we all wake up, we need to eat, sleep, and breathe. So we're all human. Growing up, I had everything I wanted. So needless to say, I was sort of spoiled. But he always taught us never to treat anybody different. My dad was very private, which I'm private as well. He said you treat people the way they treat you. And, that was his motto. He was honest. He would give, he wore his heart on his sleeve. He would, if you needed something, he had a brand new car, you needed, here, take it, I'll get a new one. That's the way he was. He'd give you anything if he loved you, and if he didn't like you, he wasn't fake. And fake people, to me, are like you said, real enemies are better than fake friends, and I live by that now. I know what he meant by that now.
Okay, I got it. Is there anything about your dad that might surprise us? Obviously, we don't know him to begin with, but maybe something that would go against his character, maybe something that we'd never guess about him, per se?
Yeah, like I said, he was the kindest person. Julie was my friend, and she lives here, and not him. People thought he was really hard. It was just because he was very private. He went to 2 restaurants. He wouldn't go out in public. He didn't make a spectacle of himself like some people did. He was just very private, and he was he was so kind and so caring, and, the people that he loved with, like me. I wear my heart on my sleeve as well. Sometimes, sometimes you get hurt, and sometimes the closest people to you hurt you the most. Sometimes your enemies or, people that you don't know that come into your life, become better friends than sometimes the people that you knew your whole life, because maybe they think they know, they can say something about you. This is what people understand. People that are your closest friends, they can say something to somebody else, and that person is never going to say, oh, I don't believe you, because you're best friends with Nora. Well, that doesn't mean that just because they're my best friend that they don't have an underlying motive. So that's the reason why people say things. So who knows? I've learned that because the people that were closest to my dad hurt him the most.
Gotcha. Definitely some good insight into your dad there. Now, we as the viewing audience, obviously, anyone who has watched the show or heard about the show, we're all privy to watching the events surrounding your ordeal as it relates to your father. Now, I wanted to ask, I'm wondering, was there a point, at any given point in time, that you felt discouraged enough to maybe just stop the entire process and say, you know what, I'm not going to keep pushing, I'm not going to keep searching for answers, I'm going to let it go? Did you ever get to that point?
Absolutely never, ever. Nope. I needed to find answers, and now I and my family can rest in peace, and we had the last word, not the government.
Right. Where did you find your strength at that point in time? Did you have a good support system? Were there people surrounding you and trying to help you?
No, actually, I was pretty much on my own. But like I said, I lived with my dad for 8 years. He taught me a lot of things. I never really lived with him growing up because my mom and my dad were divorced really young. And living here in Florida with him and being around, meeting some other people that I met through living in Florida, just made me, be aware. And just when it came to him, and the government did that day, and they never brought him to the funeral, it was the most difficult day in my life, and I was never going to stop until I got an answer.
Gotcha. I gotcha. Now, do you
the
find
unknown is the hardest thing to live? People that, when you have an unknown, it's the hardest thing to live because you never have closure.
Right. And now do you feel that you're satisfied and you can have this closure now and you're at peace with this and you can live with this?
I'm going to have to live with it. Do I 100% believe it? Absolutely not. But at some point, I'm going to have to move on.
Gotcha. Of course, and keep living. Do you feel at this time perhaps that your dad has actually found some final rest and some peace? some of us truly
I
believe
hopefully
that,
in our hearts, like you said, the tests were inconclusive. At one point you just have to hopefully he's resting in peace and our family will. So you put that chapter behind in your life, and now I move forward.
You're an incredible woman, Nora, just in case people don't tell you that. It's incredibly moving.
Thank you.
Your strength, your character, your tenacity, your ability to live through all of this adversity is amazing to me. So I think you should know that.
Thank you.
Now, I found it you're very welcome. I found it kind of fascinating that, as I understand it, your best friend is a psychic medium. Is that correct?
Is a what?
Your best friend is a psychic medium. I had actually been reading that. Is that true?
What? I don't understand that.
Like a psychic medium, I'm trying to think of somebody who's comparative to it, like a Michael Bodine, someone that's a psychic, if you will.
No,
and
I don't think so.
Really? I was actually
Maybe
digging around and doing some research. And I'm like, okay, because I thought it said your best friend. Okay. Well, the question that I have is basically instrumental to your best friend, which is I'm assuming that she has helped you in great part to be able to maintain a normal-type life through all these experiences that you've had, or at least try to get you through the tough times here. I'm also curious as to whether your fan base has kind of played an active role in supporting you as well.
Definitely. You know what? I've met a lot of people, and that was actually the best part of the show is when people, even going to Great America or, Six Flags, or I went to concerts. And actually, even last night I was sitting at Bahia Cabana where Julie works, which is a little bar on the water. And this girl came and her boyfriend were like, oh, my God, it's Nora. And they were, freaking because they were from Orlando. So that was actually the best part of everything, people recognizing me.
Of course. Definitely.
It gives you a really good feeling.
Oh, I imagine so. And I would think if you continue on the path that you're going on, it might even become overwhelming for you in some regards in that, once you get that certain popularity, no matter where you go, everybody's going to recognize you all the time, which would be the hope, of course. That means you're doing a great job.
Yeah, we would hope. But, no, you know what? Even they said that last night. They're like, oh, we're sorry to bother you. Can we take a picture? For me, it's not because I'm a very down-to-earth person, and I love people. Prior to the show, I've been in sales. I was in restaurant management. So I've been in the hospitality. I owned a restaurant. So, my father owned a restaurant when we were kids. So I've always been around people. I love sales. And, I love people. I like people from every different walk of life. It's just that people actually interest me. So I don't think I would ever be overwhelmed with that.
That's wonderful. That's very good to hear. Now I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to assume that we're going to be fortunate enough that VH1 is going to air a second season of Mob Wives Chicago. At least we're crossing fingers. Any ideas to when we might know something on that?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Really? I would think you'd have the 411.
Well, they said they're working on it, and I guess that's what we have to do, wait and see.
I got you.
Right now it's like, I'm moving on with my wine because the German will be my dad's legacy. Now everybody will hear the German, and hopefully it is a very exquisite wine. I'm not being partial, but everybody that has tasted it so far has said it's remarkable. I'm in the process of making a new batch, which I only have a limited amount right now because I was waiting on the trademark to go through. So right now I'm just going to work on that, work on my book, and, work on my relationship, maybe meeting somebody, and just have fun now, travel and do whatever I want to do.
Goodness, that's wonderful. I guess that begs me to ask the question, if given the opportunity, do you think you'd make the choice to stay on as a cast member again?
Oh, absolutely. I have a lot more life that I need to, my wine's there, my book, and, yeah, definitely I would stay on.
Wonderful. That's good news for us. Thank you very much. Because I am a viewer as well as a journalist here, so I'm the first one to tell you if your show goes away, I'm going to boycott and stand around and yell and scream and put you all over the place until we get what we want. Thank you. I want to, and this is probably more so for the viewers per se, to ask, tell us what a typical Nora day is. Because we're not the average person. You're not, I should say, meaning, obviously you're more of a celebrity type, if you will. You're on television. What's life like for you? What's a typical day for you?
Well, thank God I'm done with school because, like I said, I was filming full-time, and I was going to 4 classes, which were my master classes. So that basically, during the filming, the whole 6 months, I was, up at 7 and home at 10, 11 o'clock at night. So I graduated July 9th, and then the show stopped airing. So right now, basically, I'm just traveling, and, I'm back here in Florida because I haven't been back here since '08, minus like maybe one weekend. I was over in Naples and just reminiscing with my friends that I had here for a very long time. I was already in California once. That was for my graduation. And like I said, I'm going home this week, Chicago, to do some promotions there. And then also I'm going on to California. So, and then hopefully by that time the second season would start filming again.
I gotcha. No, I understand exactly what you mean. How about your hobbies and interests? What do you enjoy doing? What's the fun stuff for Nora?
Music. I love music. Reading, just being outside, bike riding, here at the beach. Basically, just all that. I mean, I was a really big hockey fan. Sports is a really big part, football, hockey. I played sports my whole life, sort of a tomboy. But, that's basically what I enjoy.
Gotcha. And, of course, I'm also presuming that you're a wine drinker because I'm going to guess that if you're going to produce the wine, you're probably going to drink it too, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. That was another hobby of my dad and I. We drank a lot of wine. Like I said, my dad owned a restaurant. He had a world-famous jazz club that's actually in a book, the best jazz clubs in the city. It was the Plug Nickel where Herbie Mann, Miles Davis played. I mean, some really heavy names. Then he had a steakhouse in Old Town, which was very famous, the Meat Block. So when I was married, we had a restaurant, my dad, my ex-husband, and myself. I had a restaurant with a partner, which was called Kukla's, which is, baby doll in Greek. So I've been in the restaurant business. I was in the hotel industry for 10 years, worked for Intercontinental in Fairmont, was the director of marketing. Out here in Florida, I worked for Starwood. I was in restaurant management. So, like I said, I've been in the public eye for most of my life.
Gotcha, of course. So not surprisingly, you've come up with this beautiful wine creation that you're going to have, which we hope is going to serve as the appropriate tribute to your father. Now, I know that the viewers have been they're just eagerly anticipating its arrival. So I'm wondering if you have any idea at this point in time of where people are going to be able to get it, any ideas date-wise when it'll actually be ready in terms of distribution to people like us, per se?
Well, like I said, I had to make more as soon as it was trademarked, so I have very limited. Like I'm doing a blind tasting September 5th with a company. Hopefully then if whoever wins that contest gets that's their house wine. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed with that. But, like everybody knows wine, it takes at least 3 months to age before you can even bottle it. So within the next, I'd say, 5 to 6 months, it will be able to be distributed. And I've been talking to distribution companies. I have a meeting on September 3rd back in Chicago. And I have a lot of friends in the industry coming from that industry. I know a lot of people. And like I said, I know, a lot about wine, and hopefully this is going to take off, not only just for my dad, but, I would love to open up a business, and then hopefully if second season does hit, I would probably really enjoy opening up like a wine bar, going back into the restaurant industry, and that's my dream.
Oh, how neat is that? That would be wonderful. Definitely.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, because maybe it's just my ignorance or maybe I haven't noticed, a lot of us that are out here, one of the things that we like about you is just relatability. I think there's a lot of people out there that can relate to your situation. Maybe not 100%, but you're approachable. We can relate to you. That relatability is a big thing. So when you have something like that going on, your fans are going to want to know, okay, can we get access to her? Is that going to be something that's going to happen in the future, do you think, where you're actually going to have structured events where fans can come and see you, people can meet you, a fan club, something that you can reach out more so with the fans?
Hopefully I will have a book signing, and they'll be able to drink my wine. That's where I'm, hoping. And then if, things go well, then hopefully I will open a restaurant again.
I gotcha. Got it. Now, have you been working with any, and this is just a curiosity question because I haven't noticed, I don't know, some celebrities opt to do charity work and things like that as far as philanthropy. Is that something you're looking at potentially maybe for the future, or?
I want to get heavily involved in breast cancer on September 8th. I'm going to actually be a guest bartender, and the proceeds are going to charity for breast cancer. I have a PR person, which is Blitz Branding, which handles a lot of my PR and my media, and that's going to be on September 8th at Tavern on LaGrange, and I have filmed one of the episodes was there with my girlfriend Desiree, which, you know, she owns Capone Family Secrets, where we went to bottle the warehouse. That's her warehouse. When she was showing me, I don't know if you saw that episode. So, you know, that's what I'm doing on September 8th. At that charity event, I'll be guest bartending for, you know, I think an hour, and Tony Ocean's billing, and the guy that owns it, Jimmy Tavern on LaGrange, is a very dear friend of mine. So we're doing that. So I really do want to get heavily involved in those charities as well.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Now, I have a few different questions that actually came to me from individuals who are viewers of your show because they're interested to have me ask you these questions. So we'll see what you have to say. First of all, one of them brought to my attention, and I'm unaware of this, that you you come from, I should say, a Greek descent. Is that correct, to some degree?
Yep. My mother's Greek, Albanian and Greek, 100% both, and my dad was German. So, yes, I am Greek and German. That's probably why I'm a little hard-headed.
Because I'm looking at this.
Two very strong nationalities.
See, it didn't occur. I just couldn't see it just in looking at you. I'm like, Greek? I just don't see it. I'm like, what? Didn't make any sense to me. Someone would like to know if you miss Pia or Renee.
Yeah, most definitely I do. I mean, we did have a friendship. Hopefully one day, you know, if we had a reunion, I've reached out to him. Renee knows that, certain things that, I apologize to Renee. I haven't had the opportunity to see Pia because I've been traveling. So, this is what, if you weren't friends, then you wouldn't fight because that would be fake. So this is how I look at it. My dad always says, when you're mad at and it's somebody sometimes you take things out on people that you know because it's easiest to do that. So, yeah, I definitely do miss them.
Okay, I gotcha. If there was one individual who you could meet in the industry, who would it be? Celebrity-wise.
Jennifer Aniston. No, I'm just kidding.
Really? She's kind of a kick-ass girl, I got to say.
Well, she's Greek and German.
I didn't know she's Greek. Oh my gosh!
I think so. I'm almost positive. I think somebody said she was Greek.
I will look into that. I'm curious now. I just want to know. All right. From the male perspective. Oh yes.
In the male, probably George Clooney. Just kidding.
Oh my God! Good guess. You just got my heart right there. He is the modern day Cary Grant. Hot, H-O-T, hot girlfriend. That's all.
Oh my God. Well, I love Richard Gere and Andy Garcia. That's my style.
Oh, yes, definitely. And what surprises me is that Nora's answer wasn't Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Ray Liotta. I guess I was the Italian stereotypical handsome actor. Do you know what I mean?
De Niro, these are legends. Those are legends. But if I wanted to meet somebody, it would be George Clooney because, he's sort of in my age bracket.
Now I'm seeing it, but
that's where I was going.
yes, and he tends to date those model type. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay,
Gene Hackman is actually one of my favorites. Jack Nicholson.
Oh my God, yes.
If you think As Good as It Gets, that's one of my favorites.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Okay, I was asked to ask you when was the last time you saw your father? When did you see him last?
The last time I saw my father was in jail when he collapsed, and I was the last one to see him at MCC. And then the next time we knew that they said he was in the hospital, and then the next time we knew that they said he was dead. So, Did we ever get to see him? No, the government didn't allow us, which is absolutely absurd because if you have take somebody that's supposed to be dying in a hospital, whether he was handcuffed or not to a bed, they never allowed us to go into the hospital to see him. So the last time I went was on visiting day before he died. Was in jail when he collapsed in front of me.
Now, there's a second part to this question, and certainly if you're uncomfortable, you don't need to answer, but people were just curious as to if you could just maybe share a small tidbit of, can you remember maybe what's the last thing you remember he said to you?
Yeah, I was asking him questions because as he was supposed to be cancer-free, that's what the attorney said. His DNA that they had taken when we were in Florida was negative. So what did they really have him on? Family secret was already over, and the people that they were charging him with this time was already convicted for the murder, which he was never convicted. So he was probably going to be released. I mean, they had him there for 2.5 years before they even gave him a trial. He was back in Chicago. That's why I came back to Chicago to go to the trial. I was asking him a million questions on what was going on, and the last thing he said is, stop asking me questions because nobody has the answers. You know how the government is. Just wait to the trial. So he never made it to his trial, obviously. So that was his last words on, when is the trial? Yep. Hopefully you know that I'm innocent, and that was the last words that I got to hear from him.
And were you satisfied with that, or did you feel cheated in some way, that perhaps you could have had more or something?
Yeah, we should have had a trial, and we didn't get one. So, unfortunately, when you're in jail, you never know. You're locked up. So where are you going?
Gotcha.
You go by their rules and their rules only.
Of course. Gotcha. Now, I'm going to address a different issue here. Someone has asked me if you personally would have either done or said anything differently as it relates to the fights that we viewed on television.
Oh, my gosh. Hold on a second. The wind is getting so strong. Oh, my.
Okay.
I don't want to go through another 2005 here. But anyway, yeah, I would, like I said, when you're pushed in a corner, things that were said shouldn't have been said in public. But then again,
right.
I didn't attack you first. You attacked me. I didn't come after you. You provoked me. These people that what I said, I was provoked. I didn't get up and just say these things out of the clear blue sky. I was attacked from behind. I was attacked. I was just sitting there having time for 2 hours. When you're not. When I get attacked, I fight back.
Got it.
I wish that never transpired in public, and I wish it never would have happened. But I tried on several occasions. Like I said, we were under a lot of stress, Renee and I. But, you just let things go and act like mature adults. You just don't break out like you're in a jail cell.
Of course.
So,
exactly.
there was other ways to do that. But, when I get attacked, you got to fight back the best way you know. And I wasn't going to punch somebody that I knew for a long time. You want to hit me? Go right ahead. But I'm not. That's not the way I was raised.
Gotcha. Definitely. Now, which leads ourselves to the next question, which is people are curious, as it relates to all the girls, where your friendships lie now, today.
I talk to Leah and Christina all the time. Like I said, I haven't had the opportunity to run into Pia or Renee because, like I said, I've been traveling since I left, since the show ended. I've reached out to Renee, I talked to Leah the other day to make sure her mother was okay. I talked to Christina every day, so it is what it is. I loved, Pia's daughter, Bella, was very dear to me because I used to watch her a lot. So she knew my niece. It is what it is. And hopefully if there is, a second season, at the end of the day, we all need to get along because we are all friends and move forward and, be a happy second season.
That's exactly right. Okay, I guess I only have 2 more questions left for you then. Obviously, and I speak unilaterally for my entire audience, that we all hope that whatever lies in your future brings you not only great prosperity, but of course happiness. have you really kind of planned out your next thing? I mean, I know you've got all these ventures that are going on. Where do you see yourself in these next few months? I mean, do you have a preference? Have you kind of thought, yeah, this is where I'm going with everything?
Like I said, I'm like at a lot of money now for school, so hopefully what I really want to do is get my wine off the ground. And I'm know in my heart 100% it's going to be very successful because I'm a very strong, driven person and I don't give up easy, as you know by now. When I get something in my mind, I do it with 100% and I never stop until I get what I want. So my book's in the works now. That's why I'm going out to California to finish that. And, you know, my most important thing right now, my focus is on my wine.
Gotcha. I got it. Now, I just want to clarify for you, since you're on the line here and everybody else knows, obviously, in case no one knew this, Facebook, you have a page on Facebook that people can like, which is your actual name. You are on Twitter, which is your name, which is Nora, Schweihs. For those of the fans that don't know, there's an absolutely wonderful site that was created called Mob Wife Chicago Fans. Forget about it, which you can look up online, or you can actually send me a request on my page, and I'll link it over to you. And, Nora, I guess I should ask you that. I haven't seen you on there. I've seen Christine on there. I've seen Leah on there. Are you on there at all as far as chatting with people or your fans?
You know what? I didn't even know it was there, even though I have my master's. I'm not really computer savvy.
Really?
I'm just not a computer person.
I gotcha.
You know,
yeah, because
I'm like more outgoing. Yep. So for me to sit, and I changed my phone even. I got a Galaxy now for that reason. So I'm just not a really, I'm not a homebody. I'm usually out. I'm not somebody that sits in front of a TV. Like I said, I don't have any children. I'm single, so pretty much I'm not home all the time. So whatever computer I use, it's my phone mostly.
I gotcha.
So I will find that, and I will try to get on that as much as possible.
That would be great. Oh, yes, because I'll tell you, the fans, they're on there constantly, and they are talking about, and it's just really neat things. I mean, it's cool things like who would you want to see Nora with, you know, romantically, or, you know, if you wanted to latch them up to the New York girls, who would they be? And it's neat. And there's a lot of feedback that I see on there, and individuals that are talking about you, and like I said, Christina goes on there, Leah goes on there, and it's a good way to interact between fans, and then fans can interact with you and see the good and the bad and pretty much everything. It's a very, very open group, actually, I have to say. Are there any other forums besides Facebook and Twitter that you're on right now, or anywhere else we can find you?
Probably I'm going to be, my media people are working on a web page for my wine, so that should be up and running. Now, wait, are you talking about the one that Jennifer runs, the fan page, or is it something different?
Yeah.
I'm on there a lot. I'm on there I'm on there a lot all the time. But I just don't get involved in the wars.
Yes. Then you know what I'm talking about, because,
I'm on that fan page. I talk to Jen all the time. Actually, she became a very good friend. A couple other people. I mean, I had a fan that made me my cross, Gina, who does a lot of my work. I mean, so I've met a lot of people through that. And, you know, Jen's out here in Florida, and hopefully before I get to leave, I get to meet her face-to-face. So, yeah, I'm on there. I just try to stay out of negative things there.
Gotcha. Definitely. Okay, and there's no other place that we can find you at?
I have my email that's, Nora@610@gmail.com that goes to my phone. So, and that's what I give fans when I see fans in public. I give them my email address.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
A lot of them even have my phone number.
Really?
I've given a lot of my fans my phone number, yeah.
Oh, that's neat, actually. You know, and that's something that's not a regular, ordinary occurrence. It's not like you could just walk up to any celebrity and they're like, here, give me a call, and, da-da-da-da-da, and all that. Like I said, it all goes back to relatability. You're very relatable, and you're down to earth, and you have a great personality, and you're a survivor. And that's, I think, in great part why people can relate to you, why they like you, why they like the show, why I think a lot of these fans are going to be out there and saying, we want our show. And we want more Nora and everybody else.
What you see is what you really get with me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I'm very real. It's like I said, I don't tolerate fake people. It is what it is. You either like me or you don't. Maybe that's a bad thing, but when you meet me, you'll either like me or you won't like me. And it's because I'm just me. You know, there's no pretentiousness. There's no anything like that. It's just when you see me, this is me. And, you know, that's why I think, like I was at Great America, and I was with my girlfriend Lisa, who I'm staying with now. She was in Chicago visiting. And these little kids were behind us, you know, teenagers. And they're like, oh, my God, you look like Nora from Mob Wives. And then we went on rides with them, and my girlfriend Lisa bought them games. And I talk to them on, you know, Twitter all the time. You know, that's how it is. That's the way I am.
Exactly. And that, like I said, again, it all goes back to it. It's just you like to be able to know that you can walk up to somebody who's in that celebrity realm and that they're so people-friendly and that they can relate to you and you can relate to them. It's neat. I really like you, Nora. That's all I can say. You're wonderful.
Maybe because I've been in the hospitality industry my whole life.
Sure.
So I'm very open. But like I said, I love to talk to all different kinds of people from all different walks of life. Because that's how you learn. That's how you know.
Exactly.
That's how you learn what makes the world go round.
That's exactly right. Definitely, and it's filled with a whole bunch of diverse, very out of the ordinary individuals. That's for sure. A little bit of good, a little bit of interesting. Makes life absolutely wonderful.
Right. It would be boring if we were all the same.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And I can tell you right now, Nora, you are not the average ordinary girl. That's pretty clear, and I think yours is kind of that.
My dad used to always be like, in Florida, he would always tell everybody, here, meet my real son.
Oh, my God.
I have very strong tendencies.
Yeah. I definitely think that you could probably hold your own with absolutely no worries whatsoever. Definitely not. You're a girl that can take care of herself and one to be admired, I have to say. Thank you very much for gracing my show. I really, really appreciate it. Obviously, to the viewing audience, I'm going to say one more time, if you hadn't had an opportunity at some point in time, get online, go to vh1.com, because they can still check out all your information, bonus clips, the whole 9 yards in case they haven't seen it. If they want to get hooked up with Mob Wives Chicago, go to Facebook, go to Twitter, hook up with Nora. Absolutely wonderful lady, and you are more than welcome to come back at any point in time. When you launch your wine, just whenever you want to come back to this show, feel free.
Oh, thank you so much. If I make it out of here, no.
I was just going to say, and on that note, we're going to get you off the phone and make sure that you get yourself to safety. Good luck, and have a wonderful day, dear.
All right, you too. Thank you so much for having me on the show. Okay.
Not a problem at all. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, folks, there you have it. That would be my exclusive interview with Nora. I, again, want to take the opportunity to say thank you so much to her for coming onto the show. I want to take a moment just to take a shout-out to Jennifer Snolis, who, of course, is the moderator and administrator for the Mob Wives Chicago Forget About It site, which you should check out on Facebook. Big special thank you to her for helping to orchestrate this interview. Again, as I tell everybody every week, if you want to go back and listen to the episode, either later today or tomorrow, you can come back at any point in time and listen to my episode today, because it will be online and accessible. And then in the near future, I'll be taking said interview and putting it out onto Facebook. And also, I will be having it out on Blog Talk Radio and also on YouTube. So just as a heads up, finally, before I let you go, today is out of the ordinary, but I have also scheduled a secondary interview today, and I'm going to be speaking with actor, writer, and producer Jacques de Racina. So for that interesting interview, feel free to come back online, 4 o'clock today, Central Standard Time. If I don't catch you later, I'll certainly catch you on Wednesday then. You have a great Sunday, and thanks for tuning in.
At Honda, we always look for ways to innovate. That's why we combined summer and celebration to create the Honda Summerbration sales event. You can combine 0.9% APR with the stylish Accord, a car and driver's 10 best. So hurry into your local Honda dealer for the Honda Summerbration sales event. It's amaze-tacular.
Visit your Metro Milwaukee Honda dealer today during the Honda Summerbration sales event.
Car and driver January 2017. APR financing offers available for well-qualified buyers. See dealer for financing details.
At Honda, we know young people love new words, so we made one up too, Summerbration, and it is tight, just like the 2017 Fit at 0.9% APR. So hurry into your local dealer for the Honda Summerbration sales event from KBB.com's best value brand.
Visit your Metro Milwaukee Honda dealer today during the Honda Summerbration sales event.
Based on 2017 Brand Image Awards from Kelley Blue Book, visit KBB.com for information. APR financing offers available for well-qualified buyers. See dealer for financing details.